Lew Alcindor, number 33 of the UCLA Bruins, the most celebrated and overpowering star in college basketball in over a decade. It seems almost inconceivable, but Lew is actually better this year than ever before, thanks to his maturity, strength, and a complete refinement of all the playing skills. Big Lew has meant complete domination of the offensive and defensive boards, and he has an excellent shooting touch from anywhere. Hi, I'm Bob Richards of the Wheaties Sports Federation. In basketball, as in other sports, many high school boys are highly recruited, but then fail to live up to their advance notice in college. But one who has more than justified all that's been said about him year after year is talented Lew Alcindor of the UCLA Bruins. Lew, with your college playing career drawing to a close, what does the future hold in store?
Exactly right now, for me, I guess it would be a rest. I'd say I'd take a little vacation and try and travel. I'm interested in going down to the West Indies to visit my family, so I think that's what I'm going to do.
Alcindor at work on the defensive boards. Gets it out on the fast break, and the Bruins catch another opponent off guard as John Bellally completes the play. Big Lew, not to be denied, scores on an unstoppable layup. Alcindor again on offense. Misses, but is there to grab his own rebound and convert it. A mature senior, Lew gets position on his man, and the three-time Bruin All-American hits on a turnaround jumper. Alcindor's great coach, John Wooden of UCLA, makes the Wheaties All-American presentation to his prominent star. He joins Pete Maravich of LSU, Olympic stars Charlie Scott of North Carolina, and Spencer Haywood of Detroit, and Purdue's high-scoring Rick Mount on the 1968-69 Coaches All-American team. Almost like clockwork, the North Carolina Tar Heels come up with a talented All-American each year. This season, it's number 33, Charlie Scott, and he may well be the best of all his basketball predecessors. At 6'5" and 180 pounds, Scott jumps like a forward, but has the backcourt speed of a guard. I'm Bob Richards of the Wheaties Sports Federation. Looking at the large number of All-American votes cast for North Carolina's Charlie Scott, it's easy to see that the nation's college basketball coaches consider him one of the leading players of the game, and rightly so. Charlie is a history major at North Carolina and has his sights set on entering law school. A native of New York City, he prepped and was class valedictorian at Laurinburg Institute. Charlie, you were a key member of our winning Olympic team in Mexico City this past fall. What effect do you think that experience had on your college career at North Carolina?
Well, Mr. Richard, I feel that playing under the coach of Mr. Iba and playing with a bunch of players that I played with at the Olympics, I've learned a great deal about adjusting to different situations in basketball, and I feel that that carried over to the University of North Carolina has made me a much better basketball player and a more complete basketball player.
Averaging over 20 points per game, Scott has the ability to go to the basket or use his shooting touch to score outside. An exciting player with multiple talents, Scott is an excellent ball handler, passer, and rebounder. He makes the Tar Heels one of the most feared teams in the country. North Carolina coach Dean Smith honoring his young star with the traditional Wheaties All-American plaque. Scott joins UCLA's Lew Alcindor, Purdue's Rick Mount, his Olympic teammate Spencer Haywood of Detroit, and Pete Maravich of LSU in comprising this year's Coaches All-America team, the top collegiate players in the land. Number 23, talented Pete Maravich of the LSU Bengal Tigers. Coaches facing Maravich say he's by far the best offensive player in the country. Last season as a sophomore, Pete Maravich led all scorers with an average of better than 43 points per game. This year he's out front again with an even higher scoring average in spite of defenses that continually double team and gang up on him. I'm Bob Richards of the Wheaties Sports Federation. It's a privilege to announce that the nation's leading scorer, young Pete Maravich of LSU, has been named again to this year's Wheaties Coaches All-American Squad. Pete, a business major at LSU, has the unusual distinction of playing ball for his father, Coach Press Maravich. Pete, you've obviously enjoyed some big moments during your career at LSU. Can you tell us about one in particular that stands out in your memory?
Yes, sir, Mr. Richards. I believe my most exciting moment came last year when I was selected the most valuable player in the East-West All-Star game. There were such fine athletes out there, and for me to be selected as the most valuable player was very thrilling to me.
Pete Maravich, number 23, possesses good height at 6 feet 5, but he's built on the lean side, weighing only 107. Still, he manages to hold his own in all kinds of traffic, the mark of an outstanding player. Noted for being able to go left or right, Pete has a greater variety of shots than anyone playing the college game today. His elusive moves and great shooting touch have been developed and refined since childhood. A complete player, his dribbling and quick passes leave nothing to be desired. Pete's father and coach, Press Maravich, proudly presents a deserving son with his Wheaties All-American plaque. Maravich joins Lew Alcindor of UCLA, Rick Mount of Purdue, Charlie Scott of North Carolina, and Spencer Haywood of Detroit on the 1968-69 Coaches All-American team. Recent U.S. Olympic basketball standout Spencer Haywood, number 45, currently the mainstay of the University of Detroit Titans. Haywood's Olympic coach, Hank Iba, says he is potentially the best player in the game's history. Haywood is a tower of strength on the boards, using his 6'8" height and 230 pounds to full advantage. I'm Bob Richards of the Wheaties Sports Federation. Being a former Olympian myself, it gives me added satisfaction to announce the college coaches' selection of 19-year-old sophomore Spencer Haywood to this year's College Coaches All-America basketball team. A radio TV major at Detroit, Haywood has his own jazz show on the campus station. Spencer, I know you had offers from nearly every major college in the country. What made you decide on Detroit?
Because of the radio and TV program here, and we have an excellent program. We have a great staff of administration and this kind of a thing, where a student, after he graduates from college, he has an excellent opportunity in going in a broader field in radio and TV. And this is why I chose it, Bob.
Haywood is an excellent rebounder who seems to have an instinct for scoring on follow-up shots. His rebounding and scoring were largely responsible for America's continued Olympic success in 1968. Spencer Haywood on the move, passing, going for position, and getting his team another 2 points. Detroit foes have found Haywood unstoppable, especially when it comes to rebounding and scoring. Detroit's coach and athletic director, Bob Callahan, proudly informs Haywood of his Wheaties All-American recognition. Haywood joins other All-Americans, Lew Alcindor of UCLA, Rick Mount of Purdue, Pete Maravich of LSU, and Olympic teammate Charlie Scott of North Carolina, in forming the finest array of basketball talent in America. Truly a coach's dream team. Scoring and high percentage shooting are the trademark of Purdue University All-American Rick Mount, number 10. During his sophomore season last year, the Rocket, as Mount is known, averaged over 29 points per game for the Boilermakers. This year, that shooting eye has improved to better than 33 points per game and has made Purdue the most feared Big Ten Conference champion in years. I'm Bob Richards of the Wheaties Sports Federation. Everyone knows that basketball is a game for big men. Yet every now and then, a young superstar like Rick Mount of Purdue comes along and rules out that theory. At 6'4", Mount is the smallest member of this year's Coach's All-America team, but he's regarded as one of the game's best shooters. Rick, how about giving young players across the country your thoughts on developing their scoring touch and staying in condition during the basketball off-season?
Well, Mr. Richards, I think it's a 12-month program. I think you have to work at basketball all year round to be any good at it, to keep the sharp edge. And working on different shooting drills in the summer will help a young player. And the fingertip control, ball handling drills, your wrist control will help a young player coming up in the future.
Being such a feared scorer, Mount nearly always draws heavy defensive pressure, but he still gets his points. One of his favorite moves, then the deadly jumper. Just another good example of why Rick Mount is so valuable to the Purdue Boilermakers. Mount receives the prized Wheaties All-American plaque from his coach, George King, the man who most appreciates his court abilities. Purdue's Rick Mount joins the Detroit Titans' Spencer Haywood, Pete Maravich of LSU, Charlie Scott of North Carolina, and big Lew Alcindor of UCLA on this year's Coach's All-America team.